Right, we are going to rig the foot. So what do we need to do? Hide the mesh there. Right, first thing to do is set up an inverse kinematic chain on the leg here. So I'm going to get that one and go show, isolate, select, view select. Just so I know I'm just clicking, because there's other joints around, I don't want to be clicking on the wrong one. So I'm going to go there, okay, joint tool, click on the hip, click on the ankle. Need to go show IK handles. Once we've got it, you can see that if I select this guy, oops, did I not go? IK handles, U, W, there he is, boop, there he is. So it controls the leg, but the foot dangles. So we need to control the foot dangles. So I'm going to show, isolate, select, view select, everything else comes back in again. Right, we need to make a few changes. This guy's axis is there. We're going to control the whole foot with them. So we want it to rotate around the ankle. So I'm going to go D to move the axis, hold V to snap to point, then snap it around until it's on the ankle joint there. And then just double check that that is actually around the ankle there. So that's good. D will fix it. And what we want to do is we want to control the whole leg chain. So I want to start at the bottom there. This guy, shift select, gets parented to that guy. So select the inverse chain at the top, well, at the heel. Shift select the foot control and hit P. So now, if we get the foot control, you'll see that not only does it rotate around the ankle, but the joint chain follows it as well. Now we want the IK to follow that. So there's the IK chain there. I'm going to shift select the inverse ankle joint and hit P. So now if I select foot control, it works like that. But you can still see the trailing foot chain there. So that means I need to constrain that joint there to that there. So there we go. So the second joint selected, or the second object selected, is the one that is constrained. So I'm going to select the one pointing upwards first, shift select the one coming down, go constrain, orient, maintain offset, apply, close. So now the rotation of the joint coming down is constrained to the joint going up. So now if I get foot control and lift it, you can see that the foot stays in line with the foot control. And so now if I rotate it, now the whole foot thing follows that controller, which is lovely. But now we get to use the other bits here. We want some rotations on these joints. We set those up by adding custom attributes to the foot control. So this is the left foot control. We don't want to be able to scale the foot. We don't want to change the foot's visibility. So I can get those guys and go lock and hide. Lock and hide selected, there you go. Which makes that a lot smaller. But it also means that now we can go modify, add attribute. I'm going to call this foot roll. So foot roll, and I'm going to go, it's a float, minimum is -10, maximum is 10, default is 0, add. And then the other one is going to be toe bend. There you go. It's going to be -10 to 10. Add. Close. Right. So let's just have a look at it. This guy here, that we want to control, as you can see, is Z rotation. This one here, going up, we want to control its Z rotation, funnily enough. And this one, we want to control its Z rotation. And this one, for waggling the toe, we want to control hey presto, it's Z rotation. So we want to control, using foot roll and toe bend, the Z rotation of those joints. So how do we do that? We're going to go from rigging to animation. We're going to go key. We're going to go set driven key, set, which allows us to drive some aspects of something using some aspects of something else. So I'm going to select the foot control, go load driver, and foot roll is what we're going to use to drive. Then I'm going to get the inverse heel joint, shift select the inverse toe end, hang on, come on, shift select the inverse toe, and then Q, I'm going to shift select the toe. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 joints. Load driven. Inverse heel, inverse toe end, inverse toe, and left toe joint. So those ones, highlight those, and it's the rotate Z we are going to control. So now we've got that, we can look at that. This guy is on 0, these are in a natural position, we key them at the 0 point. Foot roll, I'm going to bring it down to -10 and get the heel joint, and I'm going to rotate it. Oh, I hit the wrong keyboard, sorry, the wrong key. Right, so that's that. So rotate Z, so if I chuck it up backwards like that and kind of go, ooh, 45, how about -45? Key. So if we go back on the controller now, -10 to 0 is that roll up on the heel. At 5, going out in the opposite direction, we want to rotate the foot up on the toe joint there, so we're going to go up. Okay, so I'm going to put that to 45 as well. Now this guy's dangled, so that guy wants to come back, and it wants to come back 45. There we go. So now if we key that, we can go back on here, go to foot roll, down from 5 up to 1, and it does that, which is lovely. Then we go up to 10, and then we want to 0 these guys back out again. So I'm going to get this one and go 0, and then get this one and go 0, and then that one in the middle there, I'm going to come up to whatever you want to do on the toe. Obviously if you're doing ballerina, it's going to be higher than if you're doing anything else. You see, don't want that knee to snap backwards, so that's 66, I'm going to go 65. Obviously rig it differently if your character's a ballerina. Right, key. So let's see what that does. Foot roll is on 10, come back from the end, so there you can see that the foot rolls all the way through those movements, which is nice. There you go, and the leg follows above quite happily. Cool. Right, so now going to go to toe bend, and so we're going to control it with the toe bend setting, and what we want to do is control this joint at the end there, so I'm going to go load driven, left toe joint, rotate Z. Okay, just double check, this guy's on 0, key. So I'm going to go toe bend down, so I'm going to go down with it, something like that. So I'm going to go -45, key, and go back to this guy. So from -10 up to 0 does that. If you go up to 10, we can get that toe bend up again, and that could be 45, and then you can go key. So now, with the toe bend, we can do the toe like that, which is lovely. Cool. So now what we have to do is do that all again. So, and repeat. So you get this guy, you go show, isolate, select, view selected, kill that for the moment, and then we can go IK chain, so from the hip to the ankle. It's lovely, there we go. So we can bring everything back in again, isolate, select, view selected. So we need to do those things, don't we? So the foot control there, go D to move the axis, hold V, snap to point, snap it to the ankle, D to fix it. So the inverse heel, shift select, foot control, P. So now that inverse chain will follow the foot control, and the foot control rotates at the ankle point. Select the IK chain coming down, go Q because it's easier to see what you're doing, shift select the inverse ankle joint and hit P. So now if I do that, go W, the inverse ankle and the IK chain follows the foot control via the inverse chain. This guy still dangles, so we go to Z, bring it back on the ground. So we want to constrain this guy, so we select the one going up first, we shift select the one coming down, we go constrain, orient, make sure maintain offsets on, and go apply. Close. So now we pick the foot up, that joint chain follows the inverse joint chain, which is lovely again. So this guy, we don't need scales and visibility, so lock and hide, lock and hide, lock and hide selected, there we go. So we just got translates and rotates, we go modify, add attribute, foot roll, -10 to 10, return, add, toe bend, -10 to 10, add, and close. So we've got 2 there. So now key, set driven key set, get the controller, go load driver, foot roll, and then get the inverse heel, the shift select the inverse toe end and the inverse toe and the toe. So 1, 2, 3, 4 joints, load driven, highlight those, fingers crossed it's the rotate Z that we're going to be controlling. Go back to the controller, make sure it's on 0, key it 0. Get the inverse heel. Well, actually, let's do the controller for it. So the foot roller goes down to -10. Inverse heel goes E. That one, it's 45. There we go. Key. Go back to the foot control, test it. So from -10 up to 0 goes that. To 5, we use the inverse toe. Goes up 45. I mean, you can put whatever angle in as you like, and the toe is also 45. And there you go. Key. So now you can test that again. Go to the foot control. Foot roll down from 5 up to -10, and then all the way up to 10. We 0 this guy, and we 0 that guy, and then we go to the toe end and we take it up whatever you want to. I think we took it up to 65, didn't we? Knees still going forward, lovely. I did go to 10, didn't I? So key. So now we can just go back to the controller, foot roll, down from 10. There we go, all that set up, lovely. Zero it. Toe bend, and it's just this guy, load driven, rotate Z, key, go from there down to -10, that's down, so we'll go down, -45, key, go back to the controller from -10, through up to 10, and bring it up, 45, go key, close that, go back to here, toe bend, you can call the toe. One of the advantages of calling them the same thing is if I shift select, I've got both of them. Because they're called the same thing, you can drive them both simultaneously, which is nice. And then we got both toes at the same time if you want to. And that is how you set up the legs and feet, except for the fact that if I move the toe, it's okay because the knee follows the control, but you can't get the knee to follow the knee target. So what we need to do is constrain the IK chains pole vector that to that, and that's quite straightforward. So let's do that again. So you get the IK, you get the target first, and you shift select the IK chain, and you go constrain pole vector. It's very simple, just one, and go apply and close, because now that means if I do that, the knee now follows that pole vector. So the right knee target, the right IK chain, constrain pole vector, and then now we've got the knee set up as well. So that's the feet, the inverse foot roll for both feet, and the knees set up. So that's the first one. Do the legs first, and then we can move on to the hands, arms and hands afterwards.